Welcome back, Visions fans. Ready Player Will here. I am so sorry for the delay in this. I have had to record this 4 times now, and on top of being sick and things going on, so this is going to be a super duper abridged version. I'm so sorry. I just cannot do this 25-minute presentation again for a 5th time. So I'm just going to get right into it. Part 3, AP management, the regular synergies. You've seen this before. I don't need to go over it. This is part 1 and 2. This is what you missed. Feel free to click on the links if you want to see more of that. The AP management, I'm not going to go through these numbers, but all you need to know is that he starts out with 18% of total AP. When he does his AP restoration, it's 5% of total AP. Now, in order to increase that, you can do the AP Truststone set bonus. The equipment you can also use is the Silver Rim Spectacles as well as the Thornlet. Nothing really else to increase that total AP number, though. Now, acquired AP percent to passive doesn't affect the AP restoration amount. Now, the scenario I was going to go through here was just kind of talking about the economics of how you can stress test starting AP with some turn order stuff. And I'm unfortunately not going to take the time to go through this, but all you really need to know is that if you have no acquired AP 20% bonus here, you're looking anywhere from like 95 to 100 AP after 3 turns when you start attacking. Now, if you were to stress test this and add that acquired AP 20% and add the AP Truststone set, which again, I've talked about this many times, is way better than adding an attack magic set or anything else besides agility for a character, you're going to get upwards of not only 111 as compared to the 95, but you're going to get the reduction of the cost of your abilities as well. So things are going to cost 30% less than they normally do because of his passive as well. So not only do you gain that extra 16 AP, everything costs us, but also for the next 2 more turns with the AP regen, you regenerate 13 instead of 11. So you get overall an extra 6 extra AP, and everything is more expensive in the base when you don't consider all these ways that you can save AP. So definitely look for ways to throw on equipment for him so that you can maximize getting 4 to 5 abilities rather than just, let's say, 2 to 3. Now, when it comes to the Esper Synergies, the most effective offensive nodes are Missile, Wind, Magic percent, and Human Killer. Magic attack up is not your friend. Too many people think he's a spellcaster with the Arithmetician. That's not the case. Magic attack is really not that great for him on the Arithmetician job because that job is really just meant for Guild Wars for second attacks and third defense and second defense, where it's nice to have that second attack option, but he doesn't have enough magic resistance penetration to really have any kind of, ample damage with it because his magic stat is on the lower side of things. Now, that doesn't matter because on the main job, he's got so much penetration that he ends up still doing a fair amount of damage, but the Arithmetician job, the modifiers are just so low by themselves that it's not a significant amount of damage. It's not a big range advantage because he's already a ranged unit. It's really just there for the utility of the healing spell and those off chances in which you can genuinely really punish someone with negative magic resistance. But other than that, do not rely on him as a spellcaster. So for that reason, when you talk about the Espers, Bahamut's actually a good one because he still has 25 Man-Eater. Typhon's another great one because it's a 25 wind attack. And Tetrasilphid, although has less magic, when you're just looking at putting these Espers on him with no other equipment, it's got 40 modifier, which is higher than the other 2. And I know a lot of you are going to ask the question, well, what's the difference? I have some damage comparisons here. So just in the sample build, assuming with some assumptions here, Midsummer Sniper, when you take into all the calculations here, the outgoing damage to the enemy before any resistances are applied, Bahamut would send 4,100 damage toward the enemy. Tetra does about 4,000 damage. The net effect is that Bahamut's only about 3% more outgoing damage, but again, this is before resistances are applied, so this damage number is going to get whittled down a little bit. That 3% is going to be a lot smaller, but you have to recall, lower modifier abilities are more sensitive to increased modifiers than increased magic stats. So AP Break Shot, which is a lower modifier ability in his kit, if we do this whole same mathematical scenario here, it's virtually no change in damage whatsoever between Bahamut and Tetrasilphid, despite the fact it's lower magic. The modifiers are enough to really offset it, which begs the question, well, when would you use Tetrasilphid then instead of Bahamut? And it's really just more for flexibility reasons, that if you need Bahamut for your little Leela, for your Sadali, for your More the Merrier, because you need them to be super fast or you need a certain turn order, Tetrasilphid is just fine as a secondary option. Typhon, definitely probably the second favorite for me, just because I think the accuracy nodes are probably more impactful. I know Tetrasilphid technically has wind resistance too, so for wind mirror matchups, there's definitely some benefit there too, where Jayden will get 25 extra percent wind resistance. But other than that, you really can pick and choose between these three, and there really aren't any other good Esper options beside them, unless you're looking specifically for certain kinds of resistances, and that's obviously very matchup specific. Now, there are some MR and SR cost Espers that are actually genuinely very good for him, but only in cost limited situations. So objectively speaking, they are not better than the three on the left. But if you are restricted to the cost for an Esper, keep these three on the right in mind. They are very good for Summer Jayden. Now, for vision card synergies, a lot of people are, I think, a little confused of which ones are really best and not thinking about what you need to put on the team either. So here, Culmination is actually the best vision card for Jayden, provided it's not on another unit. If he's your only magic unit, you must have this vision card on him. It's by far the best. Statistically, it's the best, but the AoE resistance 20 and agility 15%, magnificently stronger than anything else you can put on your wind units at this moment. Now, for a sub-vision card, I actually do like his own vision card, where the unit effects are obviously great. The party effects, though, the only best thing about this card is when you have high missile resistance enemies. That's the missile penetration of 35% here, which honestly isn't the case. Most enemies don't have that high of a missile resistance that you would need 60 to 70% penetration. The acquired AP 50% is actually only 40% when you put it on the sub card. So I like this better as a sub vision card actually than as a main vision card for him. Now, Typhon is another exceptionally good unit. This is really best for a lot of those wind mirror matchups where you get the impenetrable 20% wind resistance. This 25 magic attack does actually apply to his main job abilities, and the accuracy 15 is great for, you know, evade units if you need. And then finally, Fervor of the Festival is a little niche because it's obviously best on more, but if you need a creative way to give him some extra accuracy, the wind unit effect here is really good. And then finally, honorable mention to Black Rose the Battlefield, always a good subvision card for the extra agility no matter what. Now, good cards for Jayden in your party on other members. You absolutely have to consider this. Nier Automata is fantastic for the extra 25 crit damage. He's a very high crit unit. This is obviously going to help his damage a lot, and the 35% luck is going to help his accuracy a lot as well. New Test Subjects, kind of a forgotten card, but the unit resistance of 12 here is very valuable. I know the Tifa card has 20, but this card does more for a Jayden comp than the Tifa card does, in addition to the 25 missile attack, which obviously helps him very much. And technically, this 20% strike resistance brings him to a positive 10%. He's minus 10% innately. And finally, Touch of Sylvan obviously is also great for the wind attack modifier, as we were talking about before. But you also have to very much consider these cards in your party in addition to just only what you put on him. Now, for weapon optimization, Hydra Pump faster, by far the best, objectively better than the KSR in all builds. The exception is that KSR does not have the -3 agility, but passive-wise, this is 4 incredible passives. All 4 of these are Truststone passives as well, which makes it extremely flexible to gear him on the Truststone passives. And me personally, I like the magic build the best. I think you can get the aim and the critical externally quite easily. Now, there are some great TMRs to also potentially use, and although they all are attack scaling weapons, technically, because you're not having a weapon equipped on your primary slots, you'll retain all of your magic stat from these, which is 35 per pink Truststone, up for 105. And if you do the magic build, which I don't recommend, that's another 45, so up to 150. So sure, you don't get as much magic stat on these than you would your regular weapon, but you're equipping these because of the utility they bring. So the 20% stun potential, the -6 hate to start the battle. Like, these are very creative ways to really build out your Summer Jayden. And then on that note, you can also have the missile attack modifier still on these like you would your regular weapon. Now, for the actual Truststone recommendations themselves, left side, HP is the all-around best. Luck is best for if you're hitting an evade unit. Defense and Spirit's a little niche for when you're using a cloth TMR, for the same reason that we just talked about the weapons, that you don't let your defense and Spirit get cut in half by a piece of armor on slot 1 or 2. But this is also for the healing emphasis, where you get an extra healing power of 10. Hunting for passives, I love these 3 on the bottom. The rest is all matchup specific. For the right side here, AP is obviously best for min-maxing. Overall, though, agility seems to be the best Truststones you can put on any character, unless you just legitimately need them to be slower than a teammate for turn order reasons. Accuracy, obviously best for hitting evade units. And the passives to hunt for, these 4 are, like, at least for me, magic 20% and acquired AP 20% are the musts no matter what. The other 2 are nice, not need, but they definitely help his damage output. For the last Truststone set, my personal 2 favorites are missile resistance penetration of 10 and healing power of 10. The other ones are fine, but I don't think you need them as much. And I think the healing power and the penetration is more impactful. So overall, that weapon really makes it for a lot of extra potential to build up some passives that you might not normally have been able to otherwise. But that's the review in a nutshell. I'm so sorry this is the abridged version. I've spent way too many times trying to re-record this, trying to edit it, and it's gone on long enough that I still wanted to put something out here for you guys. So thank you for your patience. Again, I apologize, but I will talk to you all soon.